up 1/2 cent, 372 3/4. Let's go to Chicago and check in with our good friend Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading, live on the floor at the CME Group. Todd, happy Tuesday and happy December to you. Narrow range in corn, bouncing back and forth. What's different today than yesterday?
You know, Mark, nothing's really different. I think, again, unfortunately, everything is coming really back down to what the Federal Reserve is going to do here. You know, we've seen what's going on with the dollar. You've got first of all, you've got the Fed beige book tomorrow, which is part of what the Fed's thinking. You've got Mario Draghi speaking on Thursday, and then, of course, 2 weeks from tomorrow, you've got the final Fed report, which is going to indicate whether or not they're going to raise rates, which I don't believe they are. So, but the dollar, look at the strength in the dollar, which is creating some problem, and yet we are still in this period of time. You know, volume's a little bit better than it was last week, but still not anywhere near where it should be. So a little bit more concerning, but again, as you've noticed, we're holding these levels extremely well. If you look at the corn you mentioned, you know, down, up, but 360 to 365 is held pretty well here. So I'm very comfortable still in that same position. I want to look for opportunities to buy. If I'm a producer or a farmer, I want to hold. If I can, again, if you can't, you can't. But again, here I think you're giving it away, and you should be hedged around here. But again, I think you'd rather be better off based on what may or may not happen later. I don't see prices going much lower than they are here, so I think you're much better off holding here.
All right, Todd Horwitz, we've talked to other analysts today looking at the soybean trade, higher now, second day in a row, and some suggesting, you know, if you don't have storage space, you might want to let some beans go a little bit right now, take advantage of this recent run up to the 880 level, 890 level now in January. What are your thoughts in beans?
I'm not really a seller here, Mark. Again, I'm only a seller if you don't have the storage space and you have to liquidate. I mean, personally, I would rather hedge around them and hold them here. Yeah. I think you have a much greater price for higher prices. I think you got a pretty good floor at 850 to 860. So again, if you need to sell them, I can't tell you not to sell them. That would be silly on my part. But if you can hold them, I believe that you've got higher prices on the road again. We've got the same issue here that we've everywhere else. You start with the dollar.
Very good. And so not a lot of reaction to the EPA and RFS standards here that came out finally, and they've been waiting, but kind of a number that was called neutral to many different commodity groups are reacting. Your quick thoughts there.
Mark, you know, again, numbers are really not that important anymore because really what's happened is the technology is so sophisticated that pretty much we kind of know the numbers before they come out, so they're not really only a major surprise. And I can't remember the last time we've had a major surprise in a number.
All right. And speaking of numbers, more numbers coming in the livestock complex. Get your thoughts there. Cattle and beef trade coming up. Todd Horwitz live from Chicago in 1 minute.